class. Today I will be teaching about the topic uterine prolapse, cystocele and rectocele. Okay, so let us see first with the uterine prolapse. This topic is basically for BSc third year. So the definition of uterine prolapse मतलब displacement या changing of its position from one location to another location. ठीक है, तो uterine coming from the uterus. Okay, so uterine prolapse is the downward displacement of the uterus into the vaginal canal. जब ये uterus है, देख रहे हैं ना, ये uterus है. अगर ये uterus it is displacing itself, मतलब it is changing its location or it's changing its position and it is coming downwards into the vagina, then it is called as uterine prolapse. ठीक है, ये दिख रहा है. This is okay, the uterus from its position, ये रहा original position. ठीक है, from the original position it is coming down towards the vagina. So it is prolapse, मतलब it is changing its location. So this is uterine prolapse. It happens when the pelvic floor muscles and the ligaments they become weak and they are no longer able to support the uterus. अगर ये जो हमारी pelvic floor है, ठीक है, जो muscles है and the ligaments, okay, they are not supporting the uterus. ठीक है, वो weak हो जाते हैं. That's why they are not able to support. They are not able to become a pillar for the uterus. तो क्या हो जाते हैं, जो यूट्रस है वो धीरे धीरे नीचे आ जाते हैं towards the vagina. So it is prolapse. In some cases, the uterus can protrude from the vaginal opening. So it can come out from the vagina. Among women aged 55 years and above, it is very common. So, okay, above 55 years of age, okay, and especially women having many children, ठीक है, more than 5, more than 7, more than 8 children, so there are chances that they will have uterine prolapse, क्योंकि उनकी जो muscles है, जो pelvic floor muscles है, वो support नहीं कर रहे to the uterus, so that's why it is coming down. So you can see this is a picture. This is a normal uterus. Okay, so here the uterus is like this. This is the bladder, and this is the vagina. So what happens in prolapsed uterus? क्या हो जाता है कि the muscles they are not supporting, ठीक है, and धीरे धीरे ये uterus is coming down towards the vagina. Okay. So there are many levels, or you can say degrees. ठीक है, so there are basically 4 degrees. ठीक है, first degree, second degree, third degree, and the fourth or the last stage is called precedentia. ठीक है, so let us see what are these degrees or these levels. So you can see here, this is a normal. ठीक है, this is the uterus. Okay, this is the cervix and this is the vagina. Okay, so you can see this is a normal. Okay, uterus is not coming down towards the vagina. So let us see in the first degree. First degree is descent मतलब नीचे, coming down. ठीक है, descent of the cervix in the vagina. So you can see here, this is the first degree. Okay, so क्या हो जाता है कि ये जो cervix है, it is coming slowly, it is coming down towards the vagina. Okay, you can see here the cervix here, it is not in the vagina, right? Cervix is in its position. Whereas in first degree, the cervix is coming down towards the vagina. Then second degree, it is descent of the cervix into the introitus. Okay, so this is the level of introitus. ये वाला line. Okay, so if the cervix, okay, the cervix is touching the level of introitus, then it is considered as second degree. Third degree में क्या होता है, जब ये cervix it is going outside the introitus, the level of introitus. Okay, मतलब it is showing outside. I'll show you some pictures. Yes, so you can see here, okay, it is coming out, it is beyond the level of introitus. Okay, so this is second degree, or this is third degree, sorry. Okay, it is coming out of the introitus, it is third degree. It is at the level of introitus, it is second degree. Now what is precedentia? Precedentia is the last stage. Okay, जब पूरा uterus it is coming out of the introitus. So okay, the cervix is coming out, the uterus also is coming out. Okay, so this is prosidentia. This is the final stage. What are the complications? Okay, so uterine prolapse is often associated with prolapse of other pelvic organs. Okay, so uterus it is not coming out, but there's something can also come out. Okay, or it can displace its position. So first is anterior prolapse. Anterior prolapse is also cystocele. Okay, it is the weakness of connective tissue separating the bladder and the vagina. And it causes the bladder to bulge or come out into the vagina. Anterior prolapse is also called as prolapse bladder. Okay, so remember that the first type is the anterior prolapse. This is the first complication of uterine prolapse. ठीक है, इन anterior prolapse में क्या होता है, जो bladder है वो it is coming downwards towards the vagina. Okay, so why? Because of the weakness of the connective tissues which separates the vagina and the bladder, and it causes the bladder to bulge out into the vagina. So another name for this prolapse is called prolapse bladder. Okay, next posterior. Posterior means behind. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, so this is anterior and this is posterior. Okay, so in anterior क्या हो जाता है कि जो bladder है it is coming out, okay, towards the vagina. Okay, so second type is posterior vaginal prolapse, or also called as rectocele. Weakness of connective tissue separating the rectum and vagina may cause the rectum to bulge into the vagina. You might have difficulty having bowel movement. So while defecating, okay, there can be some difficulty in passing stool. Okay, so this is rectocele. When the rectum is coming out towards the vagina, okay, it is bulging into the vagina. Why? Because the connective tissues are very weak, and then the connective tissues which are separating the rectum and the vagina, they are very weak. That is why the rectum is coming downwards to the vagina. And last is severe uterine prolapse can displace part of the vaginal lining, causing it to protrude outside the body. Vaginal tissue that rubs against the clothing can cause vaginal sores or ulcers. Okay, because friction हो रहा है तो you know that uterus that is coming out from the vagina, it is in connecting with the clothes. ठीक है, तो friction हो जाती है. जब friction हो जाते हैं तो there can be chances for ulcers या vaginal sores. Rarely the sores can become infected. ठीक है, अगर perineal hygiene maintain नहीं हो रहा है, then there can be chances for bacterial infection and it can lead to severe complications. So these are some of the complications of uterine prolapse. So like I said that the complications, the types. Okay, so one is the cystocele. Okay, it is also called as anterior uterine prolapse. So cystocele, when the wall between the bladder and the vagina weakens, or the connective tissue that separates the bladder and the vagina, they are weak, क्या हो जाता है कि जो bladder है, it drops or sags into the vagina. तो धीरे धीरे वो vagina की तरफ निकल जाता है. So this disorder in women is called cystocele. Cystocele are grouped into grades. So there are 3 grades of cystocele. Grade 1, it is called as mild. Okay, the bladder droops only a short way into the vagina. Second grade, it is more severe. The bladder has sunk into the vagina far enough to reach the opening of the vagina. मतलब it is coming at the level of introitus, at the level of the vagina. And third grade, it is called as most advanced. The bladder bulges out through the opening of the vagina. This matlab it is coming out of the level of the introitus, vaginal introitus. Okay, so these are the grades of cystocele. Okay, so anterior prolapse is also called as cystocele. Okay, so you can see here. This is the bladder. Okay, so the bladder. Okay, because it is the connective tissues are weak, so it is going downwards towards the vagina. Okay, so it is displacing its position towards the vagina. Here also, okay, it is sagging or it is going into the vagina because the muscles are weak. So you can see here also, okay, by using a vaginal examination, we are able to see the cystosis. Okay. So this is second. This looks like second grade, whereas this is the third grade. That is, pura bladder is it is coming out of the level of introitus. Next is the rectocele or posterior uterine prolapse. Rectocele is a herniation or bulging of the front wall of the rectum into the back wall of the vagina. The tissue between the rectum and the vagina is known as rectovaginal septum, and the structure can become thin and weak over time, results to rectocele. So what happened is the front portion, okay, the front wall of the rectum, okay, here, this is normal. Okay, so here you can see the front wall of the rectum, it is displacing itself towards the vagina. Okay, here you can see here. Okay, so the tissue between the rectum and the vagina, it is very weak. Okay, so we call this as the rectovaginal septum. Okay, the tissue that lies between vagina and the rectum is called the rectovaginal septum. This becomes thin and becomes very weak. Therefore, इसलिए जो ये rectum है, it is going down towards the vagina. Okay, so in this case, patients will have difficulty in passing stool or in passing urine also, or while having sexual intercourse also. Okay, so you can see this rectocele. ये जो rectum है, okay, the posterior portion. Okay, so the front wall of the rectum, it is displacing its position towards the vagina. Okay, here. Okay, okay, so you can see this is the vagina, this is the meatus, okay, and this is the rectum. So the front portion, it is coming towards the vagina. So this is the picture. So what are the causes, okay, of all these uterine prolapse? So the causes of weakened pelvic muscles and tissues. Okay, because these pelvic muscles, they are responsible for supporting the bladder. They are responsible for supporting the rectum. Okay, now if they are weak, तो क्या वजह है? So first is pregnancy. Okay, next is difficulty in labor and delivery or trauma during childbirth. Next, delivery of a large baby. Next, being overweight or obesity. Chronic constipation or straining with bowel movements. Chronic cough or bronchitis, and repeated heavy lifting. Okay, so these can be some of the causes why the pelvic tissues, okay, or the pelvic muscles, they are very weak. Next, coming to the risk factors, who are at high risk for developing uterine prolapse. So factors are one or more pregnancies and vaginal birth. Normal delivery, ठीक है, normal vaginal delivery, those pregnant mothers, okay, so they are at a high risk for developing this prolapse. Next, giving birth to a large baby, okay, because the baby is big, so it can because it is putting pressure on the while delivery, it is putting pressure on the connective tissues. That's why the muscles are weak. Increasing of age, obesity, any previous pelvic surgery, okay, chronic constipation or frequent straining during bowel movement, okay, because while constipating we are putting pressure for defecating, so because of that also the pelvic muscles will be weak. Family history of weakness in connective tissue, race being Hispanic or white, okay, mostly the Western countries, the Americans, and last is weak muscles around the vagina, which caused by lack of estrogen after menopause. So, women after menopause, what happens is the estrogen levels, they are decreased. Okay, so because of that, the muscles of around the vagina, they become weak. So that can be they are one of the risk factors. What are the signs and symptoms of prolapse? Number one is sensation of heaviness or pulling in the pelvis. Okay, you can maybe there is sensation of something which is heavy. Okay, it, it can be in the case of cystocele or rectocele. There can be sensation of heaviness in the vagina, feeling of something coming down, then tissue protruding from the vagina, urinary problems like urinary incontinence or urinary retention. Next, dyspareunia, that is pain while urinating. Then backache, trouble having a bowel movement, that is difficulty in passing stool. Okay, and last is sexual concerns such as sensation of looseness in the tone of vaginal tissue. So there can be some sexual concerns also. So these are some of the signs and symptoms, okay, of rectocele and cystocele. Diagnostic test, a cystourethrogram, which is called as voiding cystogram. Okay, it is an X-ray of the bladder which is taken while the woman is urinating. Okay, so this is called cystourethrogram. It is an X-ray. It is performed when the uh, the patient is passing urine. Okay, when the woman is passing urine and the bladder and urethra, they are filled with contrast dye. It shows the shape of the bladder and to check if there's any blockage. Next, MRI can be used to determine the extent of cystosis. Matlab how much it is the bladder is coming down towards the vagina, we can check it by MRI. Then a pelvic examination to check if there's any tissue coming out from the vagina. It can be bladder, it can be the rectum. Then a digital rectal examination to check from the rectum. Okay, examination from the rectum, that also can be checked. And a special X-ray which is called difficography. It visualizes and confirms a rectocele. So these are some of the diagnostic tests. Now coming to the management. So the first management is Kegel exercise. Okay, Kegel exercise, they are some exercise that a woman must perform so that their pelvic muscles will become strong. Okay, so these are self-care measures including Kegel exercises to strengthen the pelvic muscles, losing weight and treating constipation. So these are some of the pelvic exercise, or you call it as Kegel exercise. Okay, so a woman, by doing these exercise, their pelvic muscles can become strong and they will strongly support the bladder or the rectum. Next is the pessary. A vaginal pessary is a plastic or a rubber ring. Okay, you can see here it is a plastic or a rubber ring which is inserted into the vagina to support the bulging tissue. So when this is being inserted inside through the vagina, what happens is it will try to block the uterus from coming down. So matlab it is trying to obstruct the passage of the uterus or the bladder or the rectum in coming down from the vagina. So a pessary must be removed regularly for cleaning. Okay, because there can be chances for infection because it is made up of plastic. So these are pessaries. They can come in many shapes. Okay, so there is a donut pessary, okay, which looks like a donut. Okay, when it is being inserted into the vagina, okay, it is being placed here, you can see, and it is supporting the uterus. Next, there is a ring pessary. Okay, it is like a ring. Okay, and there are many rings also in between. So even this also can be these can support the uterus, or it can support the bladder also. And the last is called the gel horn. Okay, it looks like it's like this. It's like a pressure cooker cover. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, so this pointed thing is putting, it is supporting. Okay, and the cup is supporting the uterus. So these are some of the pessary, vaginal pessary. Next is the estrogen therapy. Just like I said, that lack of estrogens can also weaken the perineal muscles. Okay, the pelvic muscles. So what we can give estrogen therapy, that is, it can come in the form of tablet or it can come in the form of vaginal cream or a ring. Okay, especially if already experienced menopause. This is because estrogen, which helps in keeping the pelvic muscles strong, it decreases after menopause. So like I said that estrogen decreases after menopause, so we are trying to build up the estrogen level, okay, so that the pelvic muscles will become strong. So estrogen therapy is the management. Then a high fiber diet of more than 25 grams should be given per day uh, to the affected patient so that their constipation will be relieved. So a high fiber diet is mainly given to relieve constipation. Okay, and a low fiber diet is given to relieve depression, to relieve diarrhea. So these are some of the foods you can see in this chart. Okay, so these are some of the top high fiber foods. Fruits like raspberry, pear, apple with skin, banana, raisin, dried figs, strawberries, oranges. So these are some of the fruits which are high in fiber. Next management is we can give enema, okay, so that constipation will be relieved. Then stool softeners or lactators to relieve constipation and increase water intake. Okay, to drink lots of water also. So these are some of the management. Now coming to the surgical management, very important. So there are two types of surgery which are being performed. One is the obliterative surgery and the second is reconstructive surgery. In what is obliterative surgery, it narrows or it closes off the vagina to provide support for the prolapsed organ. It can be the prolapsed uterus or it can be the prolapsed bladder or the rectum. Okay. So this obliterative surgery, what does it do? It tries to narrow the path or it tries to close down the path of the vagina so that the uterus will not come down or the bladder will not try to come down on the rectum. Okay, so sexual intercourse is not possible after this procedure. Okay, so there are no chances for the sexual intercourse. They will not be able to have sexual intercourse. Next is the reconstructive surgery. Reconstructive surgery, it means to restore the organs to the original place, trying to put back the displaced uterus or displaced bladder or the displaced rectum into its original place. So some types of reconstructive surgery are done through an incision in the vagina, others are done through the incision in the abdomen with laparoscopy. So there are some surgeries that you can perform from the vagina by making an incision in the vagina, or they can make an incision on the abdomen or laparoscopy. So some reconstructive surgeries are hysterectomy, anterior colpography, posterior colpography. Okay, so we know what is hysterectomy, right? It is removal of the uterus. Let us see what is anterior colpography. Anterior repair is used to tighten the front wall of the vagina. During the surgery, the bladder is pushed back into its normal position and it supports the tissue between the front vagina and the bladder, and therefore it becomes tight. So this procedure is called anterior vaginal wall repair, or it is also known as anterior colpography. So this procedure, anterior colpography, दूसरा नाम क्या है? Anterior vaginal wall repair. इसमें क्या करते हैं? The anterior part of the vagina, that is the front portion of the vagina, there they will try to tighten up the walls. Okay, the pelvic wall they will try to tighten up. Okay, by doing some incisions and you see here they can do some incisions and suturing. Okay, by doing this, what does it do? It tries to push back the bladder. Okay, that the displaced bladder that is coming down towards the vagina, it will push back into its original place. Okay, and it will try to support the tissue, okay, between the vagina and the bladder. Okay, so this is anterior colpography. Okay, so you can see here. First you make an incision, okay, then sutures is being done, okay, and it will try to support. Next, posterior colpography. Posterior repair is used to tighten the back wall of the vagina, that is the posterior wall of the vagina. During the surgery, the rectum is pushed back into its normal position and support tissues between the back of vagina and the rectum is tightened. The procedure is called posterior vaginal wall repair or posterior colpography. So in the same way like anterior colpography, here in posterior colpography, what do we do is there is a repair to tighten the posterior part of the posterior wall of the vagina. So by doing that, it will try to push back the rectum into its original place. Okay, and therefore the support will be more strong. So this is posterior colpography. So you can see here. Okay, so the sutures for the rectocele. This is also another procedure. A picture of the posterior colpography. So what are the prevention? First, to prevent uterine prolapse or to prevent a cystocele or rectocele, women must perform Kegel exercise regularly so that their pelvic muscles will be strong. Then treat and prevent constipation. In case of constipation, administer laxative, enema, then give high fiber diet to the patient, drink lots of water, avoid heavy lifting and properly lift the things also if you're doing, then control coughing and avoid weight gain. Okay, because obesity is one of the risk factors for prolapse. Nursing management. As a nurse, okay, so you have to prepare the patient for the surgery. So pre-op care should be given to the patient. Antibiotics should be given to prevent any infection. Post-op care, okay, follow up the doctor's orders, administer medications. Okay, then perineal care must be done at least twice a day so that infection will be reduced. Apply ice pack locally to reduce swelling and discomfort. Then we can give the patient sitz bath. Why? Because it relieves the pain. Okay. Then encourage to take high fiber diet to prevent any constipation. Tell the patient to avoid any sexual contact with their husband, and tell the patient to avoid any heavy lifting and prolonged standing or walking. So bed rest is necessary. Okay, so this is about the topic for today, that is uterine prolapse, cystocele and rectocele. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Thank you, class.